fam, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl AE. So if this is your first time, please click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much. So today we're going to have a very important guest in the house. He's a writer and also a thespian. So join me and welcome Gracious Adebayo. Hi Gracious, welcome to Life of Ene. So today, what are we going to be doing? Anyways, this is an introduction. So guys, sit back and relax. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. Like she said, my name is Gracious. I'm an upcoming writer. Let's say I prefer the word comprising, with an emphasis on upcoming. A skillful writer regardless, though. But thanks for having me also. When did I realize I wanted to be a writer? There are two things involved though. If it's when I discovered I had the skills and everything, that should be roughly 12 years ago. When I was still in junior secondary, with assignments and everything, write an essay about your holiday and everything. So I always had the skills to use words, to compose words, to structure words together, and I always came out with good grades. So I knew I had the skill to write then. But if it's about making up my mind to write professionally, that was towards the later stages of my stay in secondary school when I was in SS2, SS3. Because of literature in English, we were exposed to novels and everything, so I just happened to like writing, and that was when I started doing my first draft. It depends. I don't necessarily do anything. I feel like writing is a spirit, and then if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. At times, I can be in the public transport system, or I can be in the car, I can be in the toilet, in the house. The inspiration will just come. I wrote more with inspiration, so inspiration moves and puts me in the space. There's nothing I have to do to get into the space. That was tough because every creator runs out of ideas at certain times. So definitely my creative juice finishes, but then it's about leaving it and coming back later. Don't force it. If you force it to not be as good as you want it to be, that's one thing about creativity. When you're blank, you just have to leave it, and it always comes back when you give it time. So time it comes back. My favorite publication has to be Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I remember when I read the novel, I was relatively younger, and it left this lasting impression on me. I feel like when you read books and novels that inspire you to think, change things, and change your perspective, your philosophy, and the way you see things. Those books are very nice books, and Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart remain my favorite till date. I also write I follow sports a lot. I'm a serious sports fan. I like sports. I like music. And what else? It's basically sports and music. Yeah. I follow football. I'm a serious football fan. Support Man United. Even though they are very stupid these days, but then I follow football, I follow boxing, I like UFC, I like fights, like sports fights and everything. Then I like music, I like hip hop. I'm a rapper too. I rap. You might not believe me, do I rap. Writing can be very therapeutic, yes, because it involves anything that involves thinking, like setting that thing, like it has to do with your imagination and everything. So obviously it's therapeutic. The fact that you actually create stories and events that you can actually relate to, things that are born out of your experiences and your imagination, so it's very therapeutic. When you can relate to them, it can be very therapeutic. Yes. Writing itself, like the process of writing, the act of writing itself can be very stressful. Sometimes you get lazy and everything, and then when we're talking about typing and everything, typing is another thing on its own. Then editing is a demon of all demons. So overall, writing is a very, very strenuous profession. It's very enjoyable to do. It's very, very fun. It's fun to do, but then the act of writing itself, typing, editing, and thinking at times can be very strenuous. Well, in situations like being able to use words, structure words, creatively using words to express thoughts and everything. So when I found myself in these situations more often, I felt like I could be a writer, and luckily I was good at it, so I love doing it. Every writer should relate to visual characters because they are born out of your imagination. And then I feel no one can relate to things born from your head more than you yourself. So obviously I relate to my characters a lot. It would have to be Chimamanda Adichie. because she seems very rounded philosophically. She's very intelligent, and there are some of her interviews I watch, and then they are thought provoking and everything. So I feel like I would gain a lot from her philosophically if we spend the day discussing. But then I like another author, Steve Harvey. He's very comic, very funny. So I feel like I'd like to spend the day with someone like that. In 10 years, that question seems more scary than it actually is, but I should have several published books, novels, poems, book of poetry, and stuff like that. Not just published, but critically acclaimed books and novels and everything. And I feel like I should have impacted on several Africans philosophically. Like there are some philosophies and conventional ideas that have to change in this continent. So hopefully I'll do that in the next 10 years. I've never had a writer's blog. No, I've never had any. Yeah, I'm very active on social media, but I don't really use these platforms to project my writing. I still feel like I have a lot of work to do, a lot of things to do before I start putting it into the work. So I'm just on the low for now till when time comes. It depends. It depends. It can be advantageous and it can be very disadvantageous. Like a scenario where you meet a more experienced writer trying to give you pitfalls, things you should not do, and things you should do, how you should do them, and don't try this. Like when it's very robotic, when it's not giving you that particular space to express yourself, your ego can make you feel like, no, I want to do this. You can be stubborn, and then you do it, and turn out nice for you because a lot of people forget that people are different and so sorry, they react to their experiences differently. And so what's worked for him might not work for you, and what did not work for him might work for you. So I feel your ego can be very advantageous. But in a situation where you're very stubborn, when you're warned and you want to do things your way, you want to violate a lot of writing rules and conventions, you might get stuck somewhere in between. It can be very bad at times. Again, it varies, it depends. On some days, it makes you feel strong, you feel happy with yourself, you feel good, you have several releases of these feel good hormones and everything, and you feel more energetic. But on some days, it can be very tiring, very, very tiring. So it depends on how it turns out for you at specific intervals. Yes, one of the major problems, like one we discussed earlier, is the ego, the writer's ego, when you become very stubborn and adamant to what you want to do. Two is the use of too much extravagant words. Most writers feel like the most beautiful thing about writing is using extravagant words. Yes, beautiful words are very important, but then when you overuse them, it gets too much and it distracts the reader from your work and everything. So I think some of them, they pay more attention to composing their story than actually developing their elementary writing skills, like the use of punctuation, sentence structure and everything. And then those are the ones I know basically. There might be others though, given we're still learning, so maybe I might need more challenges. If I was not a writer, I'd be a rapper and a footballer. That was something I could do when I was growing up. I was very good, very, very good. But injuries and several limitations stopped me from being a footballer. I can still be a rapper. I still want to be a rapper though. But I'm going to see how that's going to turn out. But for now, let's finish writing for now. I can't really come out and outrightly say this is my biggest support. I have so many people supporting me. I have my personal critics, people I give my unreleased private works to critique and score for me and everything. So I feel I have a lot of support. I don't really have a biggest support. All of them are equally important to me. A typical writing day should be the where I write some poems, I do poems, do some creative sentences, then write a novel, create a story. I'm a very lazy writer at times, but then I would have to have a lot of creative sentences, then probably write some stories, do poems. But that's like, well, it still depends, sha. But writing day is a day that I have to write, sha. My work rate in writing would be above average for me on the writing day. No, it is not my full-time career. It's going to be, if I use the word part-time, to be like I'm sliding the art, but it's not going to be full-time. I'll do other things, definitely. I spend a lot of time writing when I'm on my writing season, because there are sometimes my work rate in writing is very high. And then sometimes I'm just lazy and everything, but I spend relatively above average time on writing. Personally, I like stories that reflect the general environment in Africa and everything. When I mean Africa, I don't mean the villages, so I'm not in that category of people that can see they like the cultural heritage of Africa, the villages, that setting, history and everything. I feel like Africa, Nigeria especially, there's this rare, unique thing about our environment, the vibe, it brings this different kind of vibe, different organizations, different structures, different kind of people and everything. So I feel like those stories are very interesting to me. Those are the kind of stories I want to tell. The first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to be a footballer. Then at some point in my life, when I read Ben Carson's book, Ben Carson, Gifted Hands, I think so, I said I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. But when I tried science, I discovered science was not my thing. I switched again. I wanted to be a rapper. I still want to be a rapper. I want to be a writer. So these are like the two careers I'm pursuing right now. I would say ambitious, dynamic, and expressive. Thank you very much, Abigail. Thanks once more for the opportunity and time. You guys can check out my works on Wattpad. I'm registered under the name Peak like PEAKGREY. I have my works there, my points and everything on Wattpad, so check that out. Then for those that want to see my football articles, I told you guys I love football, sorry. My articles are just go to Google and type Ivory Links. That's my registered name with proper name, so my article should pop out when you type that. So thank you very much, Abigail. I enjoyed myself.
Hi fam, welcome back. I hope you missed my face. So I want to say a very big thank you to Gracious for doing this interview and then telling you guys about himself. So thank you, Gracious. I hope you all enjoyed this and I hope he comes back again. It has been a big inspiration, to other writers and to his friends and all that. So please check out his books on my description box and try to read his everything. Thank you guys for staying this long. Please try to like, subscribe, comment and share. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always supporting. Bye.